Let's see, where shall we start? Let's start with this one, because this one seems like the most fun to me. It's the most interesting, because it's the most different from everything that I've done so far in the series. All right, so for this project, trying to make things a little bit smaller, so the hunk of clay that I get is a little bit smaller than what I'd gotten before. Not tiny, but smaller. And so, like I was saying, having everything be the same all along the lines at every step. So here I've got 4 pieces of clay that are roughly the same size. Okay, and so then I'm going to go ahead and start molding them into shape. Okay, so right off the bat, I had 4 blocks that were the same size. Now I've got 4 balls that are the same size. Now start working it out. And right from the beginning, I'm thinking about my shape. So lower, wider, and starting that shape off in that same way. Feeling the wall consistency. Remember, at this point, we should be getting kind of good at this. I've got 1 worked up. It's not the end of it. Remember, we want to do 4 at once. So before I get too far along, I want to start working up another one. That's how we're going to make it identical, is to keep it identical at every step along the way. Okay, is that close? Let's see. More or less, they seem about the same height. They're looking pretty close to being the same. Okay. Really takes a lot of control to get 4 that are identical. And this is the first one I made, so I'll keep comparing it to the first one, because if I compare one to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, by the time I get to the 4th one, they will have changed quite a bit. So I refer to the first one of anything as my jig. That's my model. That's the one that I'm using to judge all the other ones by. Okay, not too bad. So we've got them started, and they are all more or less about the same size and the same height. Okay. Using the table, I'm just pushing in the bottom. Make sure that that's nice and flat against the bottom. Now, pushing out and starting to curl it that other direction. Thing with making things that are low and flat is that they don't flop down. That's your challenge. Okay, before I get any further, I'll start doing the same things to the other ones. Okay, I want to check it against my first one. Seems like this part here could be a little bit broader, and this part here could be a little bit wider. See, a little bit bigger overall. See, they're not matching. But easy enough to fix. That's why we don't go too far at one shot. Okay, is that looking any better? Gotta be careful. Don't want to go too far the other way, but it's not too bad. Okay. Finally. Each time my hand's gotten a little bit more skilled, done it a little bit better. The movements are a little bit quicker. All right, let's see if we can't take this even a little bit further. Finding our shape. Okay, now like I was saying, the problem with this is having things flop down. So I think at a certain point, we're going to have to put these aside and let them firm up a little bit because this clay is brand new, fresh and wet out of the bag. So I think I want that shape to stay the same on the outside, but I want that to be smoother on the inside. I think that's what my drawing is indicating. So I'm using my finger and I'm rolling it, wrapping it around my finger underneath there. Okay. And if we were to see from the side, is it getting to be similar to that? Let's see if we can get a view there. Yes, I'd say so. I'm pretty happy with that shape. I'm looking forward to refining it more. But like I say, I got to know when to say when. I just really cannot push this clay any further right now because I don't want the sides to just flop down. Okay, let's see, is that about the same size? Could be a little bit bigger still. I think a little bit thinner on the end. Keeping it a little bit thicker as it goes towards the middle so it can have a little bit more body. But we do want to keep it pretty consistent. That being said, is it about the same height as the other one? Could be forced up a little bit taller. Okay, not perfect, but not so bad. Pretty close. Put this one aside. Remember, this is my model right here. That's the one that all of them get compared to the very first one that you do. And I think my hands have come up with a more efficient way of refining this shape as well as I move along. Okay, now because of the drying time, in ceramics, we often keep multiple projects going at one time. That's the most efficient thing, because like I was saying, these are a little bit wet to do much more with. So I need to let them dry out. But who knows, if this is a block period, for instance, if this was one period, maybe I've used the period pretty well, but if this was a block period, I might still have half a period left. And so I'd want to glaze a piece that had been bisque fired, or I might want to be refining and sanding on a piece that has dried. I might be planning my next project. Okay, that looks like it's about the same size, and it's about the same height, same overall shape. Good, so I'll just put these ones aside. Alrighty, so using an individual bag for each one of these, it's just a little reminder to always watch how you're holding things. Watch your touch, it really makes a difference. And to store them in such a way that they won't get crushed or bent. Always handling them with care. They're your little babies, your little clay babies. Be gentle. Always 2 hands if you need to. Never grabbing something like this. If you ever need any extra room to store a project because it's too big for regular storages, or need help putting it in such a way that it's not going to hurt it, just ask. Okay, so after these have had a chance to sit and dry, then I'm going to refine the shape just a little bit more.